G, would it be? It's Mr. Bubblegum Man, female's favorite. Slim Every Dope Boy, corporate gangster, St. Louis Money Now, DJ Money Now himself. And welcome back to another edition of the Female Holic Podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? So look, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in to the movement. You know what I'm saying? So before we get into it, before I introduce my co-host, before I introduce my special guest for the day on the Female Holic Podcast, we're going to take a quick commercial break. So don't change the channel. Don't go to another channel right now, man. Stay right here. We'll be right back with Female Holic Podcast. Let's get it. Welcome back to another edition of the Female Holic Podcast, man, with yours truly, DJ Money Now. If you ain't know it, you know it now. You know what I'm saying? So look, man, the Female Holic Podcast, man, is if you've been sleeping under a rock, man, it's pretty much us men empowering other men by teaching accountability. So if you're a female holic, man, you love interacting with women, man. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't getting a certain results you want from your woman in your life or women that you want to pursue, you know what I'm saying? This is the place you need to be, man. So we can empower you by teaching accountability because it's possibly you doing something wrong in that interaction with women, and that's what we're here to help, man. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to my co-host, Vigilante, man. Vigilante, what's popping, man?
Oh, yeah, what's good with it, y'all? I appreciate y'all tuning in. This is our first official episode of Female Holic together.
Yeah.
As you guys know, I am the ultimate female holic, so this is going to be a dope conversation. I'm excited about this one.
Okay, and then we got my guy, J-Boy, in the building. What's up, J-Boy?
What's happening? I'm just appreciate being here. I'm like a fly on the wall, but ready to add to the conversation as well.
Yeah, man. So I'm going to tell y'all, like, for those who don't know, since it is the first official episode, tell y'all where Female Holic came from, man. Me and a friend of mine, we created it. We started it. We was in the backseat of a car. Just before we started it, we just had them parked car conversations. We chopping it up about his problems, my problems, our problems. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, other men need to hear about this, man. I'm like, they got to, because it's like, if not, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could be helping other people, helping other men in their situation. So then we took it from there, started the YouTube channel. We was doing it in the backseat of the car, just chopping it up, man. Then now we elevated to this level, man. So I'm glad to be here, man. Grateful to be here, man. Grateful to have these fellas on the panel with me, man, talking about it, man. So I want to know, where would y'all like to start, man? You know what I'm saying? Because, we can go anywhere with this. You know what I'm saying?
We can start wherever.
All right, cool.
One thing that we talked about in the last podcast episode that we just did, White People Podcast, shameless plug, was that we talked about code approaching, and we were talking about the difference between the code approaching, and I think that one thing that I may have left out was, I don't think there's anything wrong with code approaching. I think there's something wrong with accepting code responses. So if you code approach a woman, and you can see that her interest level in you is extremely low, but because you have a scarcity mind state to where you're like, man, I don't really have too many options to choose from, and then you allow her to kind of maneuver you around in a way that you know is outside of the way that you operate on your regular parameter, that's when it becomes a problem. And I think that it was kind of blended in the last episode with it being the code approach and the code response together. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. And I Female Holics, coming from DJ Money Now, I would say don't code approach, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, let's define what code approach is, because I think that's kind of like would be like this smoke and mirrors, like what is code approach? Code approach for me, in my opinion, is when, say, if I showed up at APAP Media, you know what I'm saying, and all the different establishments around it, and I seen somebody I might like. And I might be like, you know what I'm saying, dang, she look good, man. Let me go see what's up with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she ain't give me no sign of choosing signals. She ain't give me no, like, you know what I'm saying, no attraction confirmation. You know what I'm saying? So it was strictly a code approach. This woman didn't see me from a can of paint. She didn't even know me, like, and I just came and tried to talk to her. And then at that moment, you know what I'm saying, she looking at me like, oh, he must think I'm the prize or I'm the valuable one. So at this point, I could do whatever with him, you know what I'm saying? Especially if I don't like him, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make him jump through flaming hoops with gasoline drawers on, you know what I'm saying? Versus a lukewarm, a warm, and a hot approach, which is probably what man is familiar with, whereas like it's some interest, you know what I'm saying? But it's like she's still trying to figure you out, but like, you know what I'm saying? She like you enough to see what's going on, but it's like, and then you got the hot. The hot is what I love, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The hot approach is when the woman looking at you, I'm talking about giving you that look, giving you them eyes, or y'all just connect with the eyes and she get the blushing and smiling, or she approach you and, hey, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? You got a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? What you drinking on if you out and about? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I prefer to be on that. Yeah, so I prefer to be on that side, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like the code approach, that's what I mean by code approach. So does that kind of help?
Yeah, in a way, I get what you're saying. I remember one time I was on a movie set and there was this girl there and she was kind of having a bad day. She was very attractive. And the director told me to pass her something. It was like a piece of paper. So she had some stuff in her hand already. And as I was walking over to her to give her the stuff, she dropped the stuff on the floor and was like, today is just not my day. I picked the stuff up for her and I said, it'll get better. And I gave it to her. Yeah. And when I gave it to her, that just brightened her day up so much. I hadn't talked to her the entire day. Didn't know anything about her. And we just stayed in consistent contact after that. That was the first time that we ever interacted with each other. A lot of the time when you don't have a woman's attention is because she's busy doing something else. I don't want to discredit the women that are working, the women that have their own purpose that they are serving to make sure that they are a good enough woman to come into a situation with a high value man and bring their half too. They're not just, sitting at home waiting for us to knock on their door and then save them, because we're going to complain about that situation later anyway when they don't really bring any value. So it's like, I look at it like the code approach is really just extreme stranger. That's how I look at it. That's like it's just an extreme stranger. And it's up to us as men to create the safety in that situation to where when you are approaching, you're approaching in a way to where you're making her comfortable with the way that you are approaching, and you're letting her know that you're sending off a signal, like just how all animals do. You're sending off a signal to where you're letting her know that you're interested in her. And whatever signal that you receive back, you respond to it accordingly. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
No, it makes sense. And because we are creatures by nature, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, that's what I mean by the, not the code approach. Because, I've been there, man. I used to be, I'm not proud of it at all, but I used to be king code approach. King right? Anything that look good, well, I'm on it, you know what I'm saying? And you couldn't turn, you couldn't tell me not to, you know what I'm saying? But it's just more like, I waste a lot of time, energy, money, just on shit that didn't go nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Just because I was code approaching. Versus I'm on my mission and my purpose, and then, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to interact with women just on my journey, you know what I'm saying? And they going to see something in me to where they putting themselves in my orbit to where now it makes sense because they fit into my life versus I'm code approaching somebody, she could be a pilot on some shit and I never see her, you know what I'm saying? So it's I could try to do the long, I ain't for the long distance shit, man. So.
No, I feel that. It don't sound like that you was wasting your money because you was code approaching. It sounded like you was wasting your money because you wasn't receiving the signals back from them that they was giving you. That's what it sounds like.
All I'm saying, it was just a waste. You know what I'm saying?
No, but we can't calculate that whole waste for that reason if that wasn't the reason for the waste. Because if you code approach 20 women and they all tell you no, you haven't wasted nothing.
But my time?
No, you didn't waste no time because you found out what side of the spectrum they were on.
See, but if I never even put myself in that position and stay focused on what I was on my purpose.
You want to know why that's important?
What's that?
It's because in life, you always need to figure out who's on your side and who's not. If there's 20 women in a room, I want to have a conversation with all 20 of those women, because if you're not on a woman's team, she can harm you. She's on somebody else's team. And if her man says harm him, she's going to do that. So you need to figure out if she's on your team or not. So code approaching will never be a waste of time.
Now, when in the form, when you put it like that, that seems like more like, you know what I'm saying, like on some business shit, right?
No, I'm just talking about in general.
Yeah, and what I mean by code approaching, okay, it's one thing to code approach when it comes to, are you a salesman, you going door to door, it's a code approach, right? But I ain't talking about that type of code approach. Because, of course, if we networking and I'm just there, not trying to hop down on nobody.
Basically, like soliciting.
Huh?
Basically, like soliciting, though, in a sense, right? So you just mean like you randomly run into somebody at that point, or wherever you at in time, and then you're trying to approach them at that point. That's what you consider the cold approach.
Yeah, just basically in a sense, like you said, extreme stranger,
extreme stranger,
extreme stranger danger. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. But it's like, it's just more like.
It's what's your mission, though. I wouldn't say cold approach is a waste of time. It's more so about what's your mission.
And basically my mission was I'm trying to get some pussy, man.
Right. So cold approaching works for that, right? Because that's all you're looking for.
It don't.
Well,
it don't. Is
depends.
what I'm saying.
It all
it's
depends.
Calculated.
It's
cold
calculated.
Approaching.
Yeah.
At that point,
it all
right?
depends because that same woman can be just getting out of a breakup that same day or a week before that or whatever, and be on the same type of time that you on. She never met you. You never met her. But now, boom. But I look at it from the perspective that I was saying earlier. Everybody in the world is a survivalist. Women are survivalists more because they are the weaker of the two genders. So when a man is cold approaching a woman, that's pretty much her letting you know that she does or does not have an attraction to you, that she will or will not fall under your program. And as men who are predominantly more poly than we are monogamous, we need to know the extreme number of how many women fall under our program and which ones don't. Because if you cold approach, if you have a main chick and then you bring in a chick that don't fit to facilitate, she's going to disrupt what y'all have going on.
That's big fact.
So that's why you want to do I'm not going to encourage doing as much cold approaching. But when you do cold approaching, look at it like it's a victory either way. If a woman rejects you, perfect. I appreciate that. Because you just gave me the inclination that you weren't meant to be inside of this system anyway. And especially if you're on your purpose. If you got a crib, if you got a car, if you in your career, if you're doing everything you're supposed to do, you keep yourself groomed, you have a good social presence, you have a good social status, you don't have to be an entrepreneur, but you do have to have some type of business mind about yourself. If you are attempting to get off the grid so that you can live a life of autonomy and she still rejects you, that's perfect. Because all she's doing is leaving room for the woman that will appreciate that.
And I'm not. I agree with you to a certain extent. I ain't just ain't with the code approaching. You know what I'm saying? Because we identify differently as men. You know what I'm saying? Like me. You know, I view myself and I identify as an alpha king, alpha male, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And what do you identify?
Sigma.
Sigma and you, J-Boy?
Alpha.
So it's like it's a different mindset where it's like okay, for example, like I said, I used to be king code approach, but then like when I started to realize my mistakes and I wasn't getting results or whatever, because it's one thing I code approach, quote unquote, code approach women when it comes to bringing them on a podcast, you know what I'm saying? But then also, like we talking business now, code approach as far as getting guests, and then also I have women inquire about the show. So it's kind of the same, but that's business. So when it comes to just looking for somebody to be a part of on your team, of your roster teams, whatever how you want to put it. Like I done been there to where, like, I love the side of where all I'm doing is doing me, and whatever I'm doing, whether it's DJing, whether it's performing, whether
when it just naturally falls into place like
that.
When
it falls in your lap, it's just better. You know what I'm saying?
You know what you learn in these situations is that regardless of if a woman falls in your lap or if you got a cold approach her character and who she is on the inside is going to be the determining factor of what she does on your team. So sometimes a woman can be so damaged that she falls into your lap because she falls into anybody's lap. You know what we call those? Hoes. That's what we call them. So it's not always a good thing when a woman falls into your lap that easily, because that means that 9 times out of 10 she will fall into his lap and then fall into my lap and then fall into this lap. That's what we were just talking about last episode when we was talking about the people that Kim chooses. I mean, the people that Kanye chooses.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things.
But let's be real. Like, somebody at my level, I'm gonna know somebody to play with versus somebody to stay with. All I'm saying is just the interaction. Because this man out here, they would love to have a smooth interaction with a woman. Like, man,
yes.
This was like from based off the conversation I had with men outside of the show. I know men are struggling with their interactions with women. So
now,
it's like
something falling in your lap and something being a smooth situation is it's simultaneous, it's parallel, but that's two totally different things because you still have to work for things that are even like smooth sailing. it still requires a certain level of work to keep that smooth sail going.
I do agree with that. I'm not taking away from that. I do want to ask J-Boy though. Have you ever cold approached a woman, and versus have you ever had a woman how to approach you, or give you choosing signals, or give you attraction confirmation to where
Yeah.
she was fucking with you?
Cold approach, on the cold approach tip, I would say the cold approaching is more for stages. So I'd say I did a lot of cold approaching when I first got my car. When I was 15, 16, everything getting, because at that age, men don't have cars, boys, school, et cetera, you don't have cars, et cetera. So I'm up.
Yeah.
My cold approaches are yielding results, you know what I'm saying? So I was cold, I did all that through that time, right? But then from that time, you learn the data of what type of women you want. You will, right? You take that data and then move on to the next stage in your life with it. For me, right? And then at that point, you know what kind of women you target your data. It's still data, right? At the end of the day, you look at it like analytics in the same concept, right? So if you cold approach that amount of women, you'll know, like he's saying, which women fall under your program, which ones don't, right? But then they also have a type of personality, et cetera. That gives you the amount of data to let you know these women more fall under my category than these women. Leave those alone. Find the ones that fall more under your category. So you take the data that you got from cold approaches and stuff like that.
And I agree with you, because for somebody who I don't even want to put a number on how many women I cold approach, but
it happens though.
But all I'm saying is I did gain.
You still got a hunt, right?
I gained a lot of experience just from that. So like what you were saying, Vigilante, maybe it wasn't a waste of time because I gained some valuable insight. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like I said, where I'm at now in life and just how my mindset work, you know what I'm saying, like especially just when it comes to just and when I say smooth interaction, it's a word I'm looking for. It just can't.
I get exactly what you're saying.
What would you get from a cold approach at this current moment right now?
When you say what
would you feel like you'd get from a cold approach at this moment right now? So if you just went out the door, randomly decided a cold approach, what do you think the results you'll get from that?
Yeah.
Based on, if you think about it too, what that woman's been through, how many people, so it's like you got to factor that stuff in with cold approaches too.
But that's all I'm encouraging, man, female hollers not to do is because, and I see what you're saying, Vigilante. Just because every woman that falls in your lap don't mean she's gonna be the one for you. And I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, it's just more like, all right, to answer your question, if I go out there right now, like I know how to pull them, you know what I'm saying? So I fuck around, get a number, at least the Instagram, you know what I'm saying? But like,
would she fall under, in stat-wise, right, do you think she'll theoretically fall with the program, like the percentage of the do's or the don'ts, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just randomly walked out right now, if your percentage was a 60 or a 70 or 80 or a 90, right, like, would she fall under which category, the yay or the nays, for you after talking to her for a while?
As far as like, all right, I guess I'm
so you're a puller, right? You're a puller.
I'll pull her.
Right? And then as you speak to her down the road, what do you think the results would be? Would she be wifeable? Shameless plug. You feel me? Yeah. So what kind of results you think you'll get out of just cold approaching?
She'll be something to play with, not nothing to stay with. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, she that interaction is going to let her know this guy likes me. He thinks I'm valuable enough to approach. You know what I'm saying? If you got value, you don't see value chasing people chasing value. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in a sense, I was chasing her. I was, you know what I'm saying, like, not pursuing, because it's a difference between chasing a woman and pursuing a woman. Perfect example. If I'm chasing a woman, she don't like me, and I'm trying to do everything in my power to get her to like me. But if I'm pursuing a woman, she already gave me the confirmation that she liked me, and she most definitely on what I'm on, whatever program I lay out for her, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a pursuit at that moment, as in like, okay, I already know you like me, you know what I'm saying? I might have just had too much going on, but now I'm trying to see what's up with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she been waiting to see what's up with me, you know what I'm saying?
I'm hearing the mixtures now. I hear the mixtures because the approach hierarchy of if I go up to you or if you come up to me, I feel like you hone a little bit too much into that, when honestly, if you and you are you in the best version of yourself, it'll never matter which order it comes in. If Will Smith walk up to a woman or if a woman walk up to Will Smith, at the end of the day, it's going to go the exact same way.
You're supposed to.
And
I doubt it. I disagree.
No, I'm letting you know. Well, okay, now I gotta speak from my perspective.
No, I mean, for example, like they had. Okay, now I'm gonna let you talk to Vigilante because you know.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Do you think?
They show Usher with Keke Palmer, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's a video coming out too. Usher did that same cold approach with a random woman, and she rejected him. Fuck who he is. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Just wasn't his type.
But it wasn't. She wasn't his type. But he was her type because he tried to interact. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, none of that is important.
It's important.
No, it's not. None of that is important because what he learned in that moment was that she didn't want me. She's on that program, not this program. That was a very pivotal, important moment for him.
He won't approach women like that no more.
I mean, I think he still should because that don't have nothing to do with how that one's going to go. Our job as men is to, how do I put this? Like, and we've kind of lost this way to where women love our battle scars. They love how seasoned and how war-tested we are. They love that about us. They love our charisma. They love the fact that we have this about us. She was just saying that in the last podcast. Yeah. We lose that if we stop cold approaching. Because at the end of the day, when you go out to the jungle to hunt, you don't know what's in there. But you know that you're prepared to handle whatever pops up, whether it's a snake, a bear, a lion, anything. And when you are that guy, you're going to walk out with a new lion coat or a new bear coat or whatever. And it's the same thing when you're dealing with women.
But you can't say survival and trying to conquer lions is the same thing.
No, that's absolutely the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
All right, let them know what you got from that.
So what I'm hearing out of that, though, is the same thing as in general. It don't matter. You're still going to gain something out of that, right? You're still going to gain from what he's saying that. They like more so it's not in the response that you get from that, but it's more so how you handle the response, right? So women like that you tried, even though I said no, you came back with something witty, and then it's the wittiness that got me. He didn't give up my battle scar, right? Like I told him no, he ain't just take the no and leave.
You remain stoic. If she says no, it's like all right, cool, and then you pull off
with
in your
something
dream
witty,
car,
or you might do something to the extent of her going, okay,
and then that's it. And when she says no, you pull off in your dream car to go back to your dream house, to go back to your dream career. And then when her friend comes and says, yo, do you know who that just was? No, who was that? I just rejected him. That was DJ Money now. Wait a minute, he got all these, because he's on his purpose. And guess what she do?
Now she gonna
spin the block.
But it's like at that moment, like you said, she just canceled herself out because like, shit, if you ain't fuck with me just from my cold approach, which I don't do. But basically the reason I don't do it, man, I don't like giving women like just undeserved validation, unearned validation. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of men do that, and that's basically the cold approach. Like,
would you rather know exactly who she is or who you think she is?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
That's a great. With Jay Boy, you ask them good questions. I would say, I would want to know who she really is. But the thing is, you can't only time with. You can't.
Yeah,
never.
Only time
will reveal that.
Time is gonna reveal
that. But if my interaction with that woman is pleasant, I think that's the word I was using.
Yeah.
Pleasant interaction, and you know what I'm saying, and to where like, if it's pleasant, and it's she cooperative, she, you know what I'm saying, like off the gate, like out the rip, like basically like, you know what I'm saying, like this woman like me. I'd rather have that interaction than, I like this woman. What do I have to do to keep this woman like me?
Yeah, and those are the ones that we.
But you see, like how you were saying, like you wanted to know that she let you know that's what she was about, right? Because when you say, when she found out, that's money now.
That's money
later
now.
She wanted to come back.
Now she want to come back.
But what I'm saying is, she's basically telling you exactly who she is.
Who she is by doing that. Yeah.
It's not that she's canceling herself out. She's telling you exactly who she is.
Who she is. And
so at that point,
that
do you want exactly who she is, or do you want who you thought she was? Because she's telling you who she is. She didn't want you when she didn't know you was money now.
Right, that goes into like a gold digger in a sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she only want to fuck with you because you got some gold type shit. You know what I'm saying? So have y'all ever fucked with a gold digger? And what's your thoughts on the gold digger?
They have a purpose. They have a purpose, albeit you gotta think about it, right? If you know exactly what they're for, right? Like today, if I want to go to McDonald's, I will go to McDonald's, right? So if you have those that you know exactly what they're for or what they're like, today I done made some money, I done had a good week. What you doing? Let's go X, Y, Z, because you know what they for, what they about, and what they. That's why I say she's telling you exactly who she is, right? So you think about, are you building a roster or are you looking for the one?
The one, yeah.
If you're building a roster, file her away. Okay, I know what she about.
Yeah.
Cool. Got her. Keep on, but she's in the roster, the Rolodex.
Yeah.
I had a good week this week. What's up? What's going? And then you go slide with her, and then after that, you know, I can't take her too serious because this is exactly what she about. This don't work with my program. I just wanted some fun this weekend. You know, and that's how I kind of figured it.
And so have you ever fucked with a gold digger?
Yeah, we all do. They don't let you know that. They're covert nowadays, especially. It's more about you knowing if they are or not. You know what I'm saying? Because the way they are now, it's been so publicized that they have to be covert in order for it to be fruitful for them.
Yeah, they can
Right.
just be out in front.
Hey, you want money now? You gonna pay this? You gonna do? It's like, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but some women do be like, but that's the women
because those are the ones it works for.
And not only that, that's the women who don't like you. If you meet a woman from out the gate and she asks you, like when I say out the gate, it can be from the first initial interaction to a week or I say give it a month. If she asks you for money in the first month, from the first interaction to the whole 30 days, 31 days, depending on the month, that woman don't like you, bro.
What I would say though is that might just be her testing her level of comfort with you, what she's been used to, right? So if she's used to being with somebody that makes sure she is at the level like you were speaking of earlier, whatever the case was, these might be little tests. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are just that, though.
And some of them are, but piggybacking off of that, the program that I did list earlier for those, when you go watch the Wifeable podcast that we just did, was a girlfriend program. He's more so talking about a chick that you just met that's classified as a gold digger. And I'm going to spin the block on what I said about her finding out that you DJ Money now.
Okay.
So now what you do is, because you DJ Money now and you on your purpose, when you get booked at that club that y'all going to, say you get booked at Mansion Align, and they not only do they pay you to DJ, but now they paying you for every person that you bring. You got 50 women that's coming with you, but you know that you can only give your attention to 5. The 5 that get your attention are the 5 that are feminine, submissive, and on your program. The other 45 are the gold diggers that you have around you, so that everybody else in the club is like, yo, DJ Money now got the girls on them. And those are your marketing dollars. Now, I'm not a big fan of the ones to play with and the ones to stay with, but there is a time and a place for everything. And in that moment, that's the time and the place for that. Because you know that as soon as Meek Mill or Drake or this person come, they gonna shoot right in that direction. But you already expecting that.
Yeah.
But now you got your 5 that's with you, and you super content with that. And if you just run your system like that, you ain't never got to worry about cold approaching. You ain't never got to worry about somebody not being on your program or any of that. Because what will happen in that situation is them gold diggers, they're gonna try the best to get into those 5 girls' head when you're not around. But those 5 girls are so much on your program that they're not trying to hear none of that. And they're going to watch the way they move, and they're going to be turned off by it. And then they're going to come back and report it to you like, yeah, you need to cut them loose. And that's when you let them know, oh, they was never on our team anyway.
That's true. And I guess I'm at this point in my life, I'm more of a quality over quantity type of man. Because like I said, back in the day, man, I had rosters of just nothing. Like basically, like they was wasting space. You know what I'm saying? On my roster, like they had no value to me. So nowadays, it's more like I'd rather have a solid 2 that's so down for the process of my progress, adding value to whatever I got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like then having 100 that just have their hand out and what can I do for them? That's just me.
The part that sucks about that is that women have this thing that they won't admit openly, and that's that the more women that you can attract is the more attractive that she's going to stay of you. So once you do lock in those 2 women and then you become undesirable to other women, then they're not going to want you anymore either. So that's why I'm saying that this hunter mentality has to always be there. You don't have to be actively adding new girls to your group, But your girls need to see that you can always get new girls in order for them to remain as submissive as they need to be.
That makes sense, because I do know that's like they said they was speaking about that. I saw a little clip of that online, and I was like, and basically the woman, she basically agreed with what you just said, because they asked her husband about it, and he was like, yeah, man, I gotta, man, women ain't no woman trying to be with nobody who ain't getting no other women. See, but my situation is, on my journey, I bam, one come, a month later another one come, like as in like versus me talking to 1,000 women a day to try to add that to my team, like, you know what I'm saying, they'll come. It's basically like I've just learned they come, at least for me, you know what I'm saying. I can't speak.
Yeah, they definitely come.
I can't speak for no other man, you know what I'm saying. So
let me ask you a question though, right?
Yeah.
Are there is there anywhere that is off limits for you for meeting women?
Nah, it ain't. I mean, work. Like
I say that though, right? Like, let me ask you: if you was going to buy a steak, would you go to Home Depot? Would you be okay buying a steak from Home Depot? Like, it's weird though, right? But I'm just saying this because like certain women have off places, like don't talk to me in the grocery store, don't talk to me in the gym, etc. Like, women have those stipulations on where they allow cold approaches, etc. Right?
Women make rules for betas and they break them for alphas and sigmas.
Factuals. That's factuals, right? But just in general, right? As a male, do you have off limits?
Do you have some?
Like I said, I won't, like, if I have
or situations that they're in, maybe that, they walk into the car with their kid and it's a little girl and it's a woman. You talking to, certain things. Is there something that makes it off limits for you?
For me, because this has happened to me, and I didn't, like, it's crazy because it was a fall in my lap situation. Mm-hmm. It was a woman who approached me on some shit, but it's like, the situation was like basically like, I learned not to don't ever fuck with a woman at your job, man. If you got 9 to 5, don't fuck with no woman at your job. Now it's different because like, now if she the CEO, fuck with her. You know what I'm saying? But like, if she on some, y'all on the same level, it just I learned my lesson, right? And then 2, it's crazy. Like I said, I got a woman, when I was jammed up on some shit, it was, when you sitting in the little girl on this side, man on this side. Mm-hmm. She trying to talk to me. I'm like, we both like that. Like what you?
That's not a situation where you would do that.
Yeah, those are the only 2 right. And
so about this work situation. Yeah. Did it turn sour?
Did it turn sour?
Yeah.
Shit.
After it didn't work out,
or before it didn't work out.
Because before it worked out until it didn't work out, right? Mm-hmm. Like the work situation was cool until y'all fell out or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like, because even like, okay, bam, y'all creatures, you know what I'm saying? She got my dick hard, her pussy thrive for me, you know what I'm saying? And then bam, after that, it's like, shit, if it don't work out over time, you know what I'm saying? I still got to see this motherfucker, and now she doing a little freaky thought shit for everybody. Well, not everybody, but the next nigga.
There's other people.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I got to witness that shit. I mean, I'm not speaking from my personal perspective, but I know it's been plenty of men in situations to where they dated a woman at the job and the shit just went south. Nigga had to quit his job just because he broke it off with her, but she don't want to break it off. So now she doing all this crazy shit at the job, and it's like, damn, I just lost my. So it's plenty. It's just 2. Y'all asked me about 2 spots.
Yeah.
And those are the 2 spots.
I'm in full agreement with you.
Yeah.
If you got a 9 to 5 job, definitely do not mess with the girl that work at your job. Or if you are, because we are human beings. So if you do that, only mess with her outside of work. No flirting while y'all at work. And hopefully, if you can do this, if y'all work in the same department, switch a department so that y'all work separately. You cannot be in close proximity and then keep that charade up and then it work outside, because then she gonna come and she gonna get in her feelings and she gonna come into work feeling like she can bring that to work. And then eventually, if it don't work out, she either gonna hit you with a sexual harassment thing or she's gonna do whatever she can to try to make you jealous, like you were saying with the other guys, and then push you out of the door, because she's no longer on your team at that point. So now she's only looking to harm you. Mm-hmm. So
ally became an enemy real quick.
Yeah, you'll become an enemy real fast. However much a girl likes you is how much she'll hate you. It's parallel.
Okay, that's the first time hearing that, but it makes sense. But I do want to ask y'all I want y'all. Not y'all as in like if you don't agree with it, but for the men on this panel, if you do agree with code approaching, what are some ways? Because I'm gonna share my ways of like to look for choosing signals and shit like that. That way you know it'll be a warm approach or a hot approach.
Okay, I hear you.
So if you do cold approach, and I like what you said, J-Boy, because some women don't like being talked to when they with their daughter or something like that, you know what I'm saying, or they in the store, grocery store, shopping, you know what I'm saying. So I understand, and I learned that, you know, by cold approaching, you know what I'm saying, but I ain't give a damn if your daughter that shit. I'm gonna be stepdaddy in the motherfucker.
I learned it from being around women and hearing them say things like that, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Again, you said earlier, I got 5 sisters as well. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up around certain things as well.
Insight.
And you're right. You take that insight and kind of utilize that insight for benefits. But, you know, cold approaching is still all about the hunt, right? As males, we're gonna hunt, right? For me, it's not about. It's more about the hunt. You know, I'm okay once I know I could get what I want. You know what I'm saying? So I used to work for probably like the last 7, 8+ years, 6+ years around women all day, right? It's 50+ women on shift a day. And for me, it wasn't about trying to get at none of them. It was more so about once I knew what I knew, it was the same satisfaction as if I did what I did. So with work, it wasn't, with work, I just wasn't, you know what I'm saying? You don't, the biggest thing is you got to think about it, right? So what I hear out of what you're saying is that after it's over, you don't want to have to be in a situation where you have to be around them. Exactly. You still want the option, right? But if y'all work together and y'all both got to get the money, you still got to go there. So I think the problem is more so about y'all still having to be around each other after that, not more about work.
And the low level of maturity that situation came.
It's tough.
Because it didn't have no destination.
Right, it was just things happening.
Things happen, and then boom. Women hate situationships because they don't, women are stability hunters, so they hate situationships. My tips would be that when you cold approaching a woman, make sure that it's a gradual merge. Make sure that whatever you guys are doing, that you guys meet in a proximity of wherever you guys at that makes sense for you to start that conversation, so that you don't come off as a weirdo, because women love the opportunity to call a man a creep for no reason because there's no consequences. Women rarely have consequences for anything they do in their life.
In this society.
Huh?
In this society.
And this is here in this society. So because of that, you have to make sure that all of your, as a man, I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So when you do approach her, make sure that you are smelling very good, that you are looking very good, so that that's already checked off the list. And then when you talk to her concise. You talk to her like she's a human being. Don't try to get at her. Man, baby, how you doing, baby? I just want to drink your bath water, all that lame shit. Don't be on none of that. Man, this is a good baseball game right here. Boom. And now she's confused. Wait a minute, why is he talking to me? He's trying to get at me, or is he? That's the position that you want her in. Now her wheels are turning. And then when you're like, okay, I'll see you later. And then she walks off. She's like, wait a minute, he didn't ask for my number. I'm not saying don't ask for the number. I'm just saying in this situation. Now she's like, man, what's
I'll be on that.
Because you might know that you're not leaving, but that you're still going to be around. Women are the FBI for free, so she's going to ask about you to everybody that's there. Yo, who is that guy? He was just talking to me. Mm-hmm. And then when she finds out, yo, that's money now. Mm-hmm. Now she has a more concise thing of when you ask for the number, her phone already gonna be out. Mm-hmm. Rather when it's before, it was like, I really don't know him. I don't know nothing about him. What you gotta remember, we're men, so we're used to, we're trained in combat. Most women are not trained in combat, so they try to keep as secluded as possible to anything that can harm them. If you're a man, you're stronger. If you're a stranger, that's danger. Mm-hmm. I don't know you. So that's why you always have to come and make them as comfortable as possible, as fast as possible, with a regular conversation. And the more comfortable and successful that you are in your life is the more calm that your demeanor is when you're talking to her. And when she rejects you, you're laughing on the inside like you don't even know who I am and what I do.
Yeah, that's real. And
that's one last thing to that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Introduce yourself. Like a lot of, like I walk up, how you doing, miss? My name is XYZ, how you doing? Like an actual introduction, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us skip that in general and we go straight for what we on. Mm-hmm. And we try to make it about what time we on with them when you just kind of stop them on some cold approach, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, how you doing? My name is such and such. And I was like, okay, I know his name. I like his name maybe. They might like all of these things. He's talking to me, looking at those things you were talking about, how you dress, how you smell, etc. All right, cool. He introduced himself. then you get to the conversation. I just think that's one big thing that worked for me, and then things like, excuse me, miss, or, you know what I mean?
Still being a gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how he was raised, but not everybody was, you know what I mean?
Raised the same way.
But those things are, I think, always get me an audience at the minimal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, speaking of audience, man, I want to shout out to the audience, everybody looking at, watching and tuned in, is gonna catch the replay and all that. So we finna take a quick commercial break, man. Don't go nowhere, man. But Vigilante, man, I'm gonna pass it to you, man, so you could tell the people who this commercial break is sponsored by.
Yes. This commercial break is sponsored by Black Aswad. Thank you so much for sponsoring this show. This coffee is definitely one that you do not want to miss. Go to their website right now and make sure that you grab you some.
For sure. And we'll be right back. Welcome back, man. Hey, Female Holic Podcast, man. I hope my female holics out there, man, getting a lot of game, man, today, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we got it to share. It feel real good to hear different perspectives from different men who identify as different things, heterosexual-wise. I'm saying, you know, we all heterosexual on this panel, man. We all single man for the most part. So that's just from our point of view and our perspective. But I did want to say, I know y'all gave a code approach, suggestions for guys, you know what I'm saying, who do that. And I want to shout out to the guys who don't. And more on this floor. And I'm just, for those who want to come around, if you want to learn more about it, I'm going to tell you some things to look forward to in order to where it won't be a cold approach. It'll be a hot approach or a warm approach, you know what I'm saying? So we can start with warm approach, and we can talk about choosing signals, you know what I'm saying? Choosing signals is a woman looking at you to where, you know, every time you look at her, she turn her head real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just like she was looking at you, then when she got caught, you know what I'm saying? She like, damn, he seen me. And then it's basically I played like the look tag type shit. And then that's, you know what I'm saying? So it's just warm enough to go see what that woman about. You know what I'm saying? A hot approach example. You could be walking, and you catch eyes with a woman walking past you, and y'all head turn down to break your neck. You know what I'm saying? That woman interested, and chances is she gonna turn around when you turn around to go talk to her. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you really want, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be another hot approach. You know what I'm saying? You could be out somewhere, and it's like with me, I'm giving y'all like my real life examples. You know what I'm saying? Like so where like shit, I see a woman, I smile at her, she busts out blood, like I'm talking about showing all 32 teeth, boy, like she blushing and shit like that. Bam, I know it's a hot approach now. I can go say my name is Doodoo Head, and she'll fuck with me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be shit like.
No, I feel what you're saying.
But basically,
I feel that.
Even me keeping it playful and jokeful with women, you know what I'm saying? Like that's an example, like keeping it playful and keeping it like fun. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm all about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like another example. And Vigilante, I've experienced to where I went to a circus, no lie. Went to a circus, and I saw this woman and her daughter. I didn't know they was daughters. They looked so good that I thought they was like sisters or something.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying the circus, interacting with them, just having fun. I ain't want nothing, you know what I'm saying, in particular. You know what I'm saying? So it's just more like, after that, she saw my name on the back of my shirt. You know what I'm saying? I was working with the radio station at the time. So therefore, it's like, you know, bam, once I left, she looked me up on Instagram and DM, hey, because I think I asked, I was like, I think I did cold approach her, and I was like, shit, what's your number? And she was like, I got a boyfriend. I was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I should have hopped on the mama. You know what I'm saying? But then when I left, she inboxed me, bro. She was like, hey, I know I told you I had a boyfriend, blah, blah, but it's really complicated, this and that. You know, but what's your number? You know what I'm saying? And she was on me, you know?
So she got a beta placeholder. That's what she got.
So I mean, what are some things y'all think once you get the girl? You know, I pass you, J-Boy. Once you get the girl, what are some things that you can help the female holics keep the girl?
I think the biggest thing is about setting yourself apart from other men. In general, it's not about other men having more, doing more, et cetera, is what makes you different from them, right? So it's, do you learn the little things about her, what she like, what she don't like? I picked up food without having to call you, ask you what you want. I paid attention to you saying, man, I might need some AirPods lately. Little things like that, like those things matter because it's more so like, oh, he was listening. I didn't even know you was listening. Like I might buy you a pair of shoes, but never ask you your size because I went and looked in your closet. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. Those are the types of things you like women to kind of be on. Like as a man, you'll neglect your own personal needs consistently. Sometimes for me, and then you'll do other things for other people, and then your stuff will continue going not being done. But for someone that's around you that's paying attention, man, you need some wife beaters. You need some underwear, things like that, because you'll go buy them. Like me, I'm a person when it comes to laundry, I might go buy more than wash, but a woman around you that can do that.
And that's real, Joe.
Those are good ones, man.
No,
those are some good ones.
Because it's men out here in 2023 still getting nothing for Christmas if you celebrate that.
I was one of them. So if you're being real, right, you think
for
about it.
For the whole 17 years?
Oh yeah, it's been, I wouldn't say the whole, but like for the majority of it, it was just like effortless. So it's things that matter though. Those things don't matter to me. I'm more so, I don't care about those things. I'm like the things I'm speaking about. I care more so about the little things that you'll do along the way.
But
you know what I mean?
And this ain't your example, but I done seen it to where man bought everything. Bam, bought the kids, everything they wanted, bought the woman, it might be his wife or not, whatever. About the woman, it's like everything she wanted, and she even bought the kids stuff, but she ain't buy the man nothing. And then the kids was like, "You ain't get daddy nothing," like you know what I'm saying? And it man, it's crazy.
But you got to think about it, right? So we're so non-problematic, right? So like for me, I'm not a materialistic person that I'm gonna require you to buy things for me. Right, so if you didn't, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So again, sometimes it go on so long to where they go, he don't want nothing. Every time I try to ask him, but I'm more of the thing that if you want to do something, do it, don't ask me.
Yeah.
Right, like if you want to help somebody, help them, don't ask them, because pride, you now put pride in the equation.
Yeah.
Right, because if I go, hey, do you need help? When you can clearly see I need help, it makes it more of a pride thing. Now I got to suck up my pride and say, yeah, I need help before I can get it.
Yeah.
I think
these are great points.
No,
yeah,
and it's all from experience though. I think the biggest thing with women, right? They don't communicate with their men enough to figure out what they got going on. It's always kind of like one-sided, the communication. So if your man's going through things on a consistent basis, sometimes it's more so about when you have a problem, it doesn't matter what they're going through. So you walk in the house, hard day at work, you done had, oh man, you didn't do this, or what's and it's like, okay, give me a second. You know what I'm saying? And
the
it's
energy
like,
aimed at you,
yeah,
at the man, okay.
Right, so and it's like, sometimes you gotta like, all right, let's sit down and have discussions. The floor should be open. And the biggest thing about it is women tend to be selfish because of the way they're given gifts and attention consistently, right?
No, but I feel like it goes back to because I'm not sure if you code approach the mother of your children. I code approach both my mother and my children, bro. And therefore,
I'm a savage, yeah.
Right.
This is during my code approaching days. Right, but I'm more so I'll set the bait, right? So when you fish, the fish don't know they about to get caught. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm looking, I'm looking for what I feel I like. You know what I'm saying? What I'm attracted to, etc. Before I even make the cold approach. And do I even have a shot with this? You know what I'm saying? And then I figure out the approach. The approach is important. So some people think cold approach is just I saw something and I'm going at it. Sometimes for me, I might see it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna spin the block on another day. You work here, okay, cool. Come up here, interact with you, see if I like your personality.
You put together a game plan.
Yeah, no, because again, that's where I go back to that data where I say if you've done enough cold approaching, you know what works with who and what doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Now I take that data and I make my approach.
So I got a question for Vince Lansing, man. So in today's market, man, what do women do wrong in relationships to lose a high quality man, high value man, whatever you want to call it, a good man in some terms. But basically, like, where do women go wrong, man?
Man, especially when it comes to high value, man, they just don't really know what they signing up for. When you are the woman to a high value man, you literally become an assistant, like, whether you want to or not, it doesn't matter. And it extremely doesn't matter to him as far as like how you feel about that. Feelings really go out of the window predominantly the more successful that you become in life, because you realize that if you felt more and if you allowed the world to get you in your feelings more, that you wouldn't be as successful as you are. So when women come into the equation, it's only so much that they can suppress their feelings before they have that explosion that we was talking about earlier. And when you have that explosion, it shows a lot of the time that you're not strong enough to withstand exactly what it is that we're building. A castle looks great, but everybody inside that castle is fit to be in there. And that's the reason why you on the outside of the castle looking at it. But no woman admits that her place is outside of the castle. In their mind, all of their places are inside of the castle. But then when they get into the castle, then they blame everybody that's in the castle for how the castle ran, even though the castle was successful way before they ever got there. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge, huge mistake that they make, is just not knowing what it is that they signing up for.
That's real. Mm-hmm. That's real, because, but you know, and some women do know what they signing up for. They just haven't got to that. I feel like they haven't got to that level of, because I noticed in my experience, man, when I attract a lot of older women. I don't know about y'all.
How old are we talking?
We talking 30s and 40s.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Middle age.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, older than me, I should say, right? But at the end of the day, it's like I've realized women at that stage, they didn't figure certain shit out, you know, about them as a woman and about their interaction with men. You know what I'm saying? Like,
older women have a more realistic grasp on life.
Right. So it's like with the younger women, it's like I feel like they know what they doing, but they also don't know what they doing at the same time.
No, they absolutely
don't
know
what
they're
doing.
Yeah,
young women. They know what they doing, but they don't know what they doing.
Okay, I get what you're saying when you say that now.
Because the older women, they know what they doing.
The younger women, I think, are more curious about what it is that's happening for the older women or whatever the case is. The older women, I think, are more cautious about who they allow around them in terms of energy, et cetera, stuff like that. So when I say you got to mainly be aware of what their past was and what they've been through, as well as what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes those two don't mix, right? Because again, you are always dependent on, no matter how older you get, right? You're fighting against their past with every woman you meet. Yeah. So if they're in their 30s, you're fighting against all the men they've been through in their 20s. Not saying it's a lot, but the relationships, the type, maybe father-daughter relationships as well that damaged them when they were younger. So every woman you meet, depending on what stage in their life, I think the biggest thing that I learned is that you got to kind of meet their parents and dive into their history. If you want to get in something serious, because that's something that could plague your relationship for 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years. Their past. Yeah, nothing to do with y'all actual problems, but their past alone and how they view things makes it harder for you to actually be in something in general.
100%.
So you got to kind of know, I think you got to ask a lot of questions about their past. And if they don't like to talk about it, sometimes it's kind of rough on them, but at the same time, you got to know if you're planning on getting a lifetime with them, it's important to know before. You know what I mean? Because lifetime traumas come from childhood. Right, so if y'all don't ever discuss that and then y'all signing up to be together for a lifetime, those childhood traumas are gonna come back up again and you don't know nothing about them. You don't even know if you were okay with signing up for them. You know what I'm saying? So all of those things are good conversations to have prior to having something. And a lot of us, we end up in situationships. You don't know that it's gonna be a relationship until it's too late.
Too late, yeah.
Wait, what do you mean it's too late?
you
Until
1
you locked
year
in
in
already.
of dealing with
Yeah.
each other. So imagine, right? Now y'all apart from each other, right? So again, back to that conversation we had earlier, when you're together, it's gonna create more pressure the more you're together.
Mm-hmm.
But if we were just casually dating for like a year or so, where you got your crib, I got my crib, I
Yeah.
pull up, you pull up, we swap it out sometimes, but our spaces, we might spend 8 hours together, we might got some time, but you guys haven't been under the pressure of every day living together through your problems, her problems, family this, that, etc. So y'all don't have real pressure.
I got you.
Right? So when you look up, you've been with this person that you've been familiar with for a year, 2 years now, and you go, man, I don't know how to get out of this right now because it's nothing technically going super wrong, but you like, let's see this out. It has to be something dramatic before you say, all right, now it's out.
Nah,
Somebody
that's it,
cheated
yeah.
or somebody. You're not just gonna walk away from something that seems to be working. There's nothing wrong.
Nah, I mean, like if it seems to be working, but I had to.
That's
like,
well, to answer your question, how you end up in something, right?
Yeah.
That's how you end up in it, right? Because y'all kind of
Okay,
already done
basically, y'all was
been,
going good,
and it's
and then-
about a year and change now, and y'all ain't really had no problems. Y'all familiar, y'all staying at each other's house, y'all talk to
Yeah.
each other. It's no real issue, but that's how you end up in something.
No, but I guess where I got twisted up is when you said dating. Like when you say dating, are y'all in a relationship, like exclusive, monogamous, or is it like we friends?
That's how I say you end up in stuff.
You pretty much saying
That's
the
how
same
you end
thing.
up in stuff.
No, but I feel like it's our power.
Do you set that straight at the beginning when you meet the woman, or you go with the flow until you get what you want?
No, it's just more like it's our power as men to be like, I want you to be my woman, or because I had it.
Do you say that?
No, I'm just saying I had a lot of experience with women. Be like, what are we? What are we? So I'm at that moment.
Don't ever answer that question, fellas. For those who are watching, don't
no,
ever
I
answer
answer
that.
the question. You know why I answer the question? Because a lot of the times they don't know what they're asking for. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the reason that I don't answer the
I
question.
answer the question because then they stumped. Okay, then what?
But I don't think being stumped
that's our
helps the
power, though.
situation. though.
But it lets me know where we stand at. 'Cause
Oh, with
if you're
her.
stumped about the situation, then we weren't going to make it too far anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but most definitely, man. Vigilante, did you want to add in something real fast on that?
About to that situation.
Yeah, because you know, it's the power dynamic. Like we could say yes, you can be my woman, and no, you can't. No, you're not.
Oh, to that situation right there. It's a gradual merge is the best way that it's going to happen. A person that's going to work long term for you is going to come with a lot of the qualities that it takes to be in a good situation, and she's not going to want to rush the relationship. A relationship is a marathon, not a sprint. So if you got somebody that's trying to run to the finish line, she's already going to lose. She's going to be tired by the end of the first lap, and we got 70 more laps to go. So a person that doesn't understand that out the gate is a reason why I never answer the what are your intentions, what are we, what none of that. None of those, I don't have to. What that is that's really a female's way of trying to manipulate you into telling her what it is that she wants to hear. And also putting your back against the wall so that she can make you responsible for whatever it is that you say, even if you don't mean it. So that's the reason that you should not answer that question. Just remain on your purpose. Keep being the best version of yourself. Keep driving your dream car to your dream house with your dream career, and let her figure out what your intentions are by the life that you already created.
Well said, brother. Well said, man. So look, man, I appreciate y'all fellas coming on and spilling this, you know, real game for the youth, man. Cause we doing it for the youth, man. So I appreciate that, man. Go ahead, Vigilante. Go ahead, tell them where they can follow you on social media. And then I'm gonna have J-Boy and I'm in and out.
Oh yeah, at Vigilante LOM, VIGILANTE LOM. I'm gonna start my personal consultations for dating and also for life coaching as well. So make sure that y'all hit the link in the bio and get in contact with me at Vigilante LOM.
J-Boy.
Yeah, it's J-Boy, Dice Mob representative, man. Also, I film buckets for Big Hoop TV, man. We play ball too, man.
All right, okay. That's what's up, man. So once again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all already know me, man. Y'all can follow me everywhere at STL Money Now, you know what I'm saying, on all platforms, man. And with that being said, man, we'll catch y'all next week for another edition of the Female Harlot Podcast, man, with DJ Money Now and Vigilante, man. We up out of here, y'all. Peace.